All right, we're live. Not quite a post-game stream, but a post anything that matters stream as far as that game goes, because the game is over. The game has been over. The game might have been over after the very first play from scrimmage. We're brought to you by Twisted Tea. This is Unnecessary Roughness. We were live last night. We're live tonight. I'm going to make you two promises right now. A, this show ain't lasting very long. B, I'm not going to have a lot of poignant analysis, any hard-hitting opinions, I'm not going to have any stats. I'm just going to tell you what happened. Indiana's beating the living dog shit out of Oregon right now. Indiana is beating the living dog shit out of everybody right now. Indiana looks inevitable right now. I'll start with Big Av. What do you say? I don't even know how to set you up. What do you say about what we are witnessing?
I mean, it's about as thorough of a beatdown as I can remember just in every facet of the game. I mean, offense, defense, special teams. I mean, we talked about it thinking, like maybe Oregon can play the game closer, like after they see him a second time. No, Cignetti and Indiana just got more data and just pummeled them. How prepared they are, how precise they are. Everything is so clean. Mendoza 17 for 20, buck 77, 5 touchdowns, whatever. Run game was solid. Defense was great. I mean, we're in a game where they're throwing D'Angelo Pons in the backfield to throw him the ball.
Crazy.
Like, they're fucking around with Oregon. Like, they're disrespecting Oregon. And then Oregon's punting down 27, and it gets blocked almost for a touchdown as it should. I mean, another Indiana deserves all the credit in the world, all of it. Another Dan Lanning egg in a big spot. I've been saying it for a while. We keep crowning this guy before he does anything. We every year we fall for it because he has good quotes, and it's funny because he's the guy that's like, we don't play for clicks, but he's Mr. Quote Guy, nothing in the trophy case. I'm just saying there's a lot to talk about. And I'll just say this last quick. Brandon, you said yesterday to me that wasn't frustrating watching Miami. I think it was more frustrating watching this. Because it's so sad. And Ohio State's in a place now where I have to sit there and be like, we almost beat this Indiana team. Like, that's all I've got for this year. But they've been that good that I'm sitting here saying that.
I think in an off-season show very soon, we're going to have a Dan Lanning conversation because I've noticed it too. But let's focus on Indiana tonight. Kayce, what do you say? Kayce, unmute yourself.
Yikes, that's my bad. Going into this game, I said in the preview that I believed in Indiana. Have believed in Indiana. I thought they were going to win the game, but beating a team twice in the season is very hard to do, and we've seen it in the last couple of years. And exactly what everybody is saying online, what we've already said here, it was like Curt Cignetti just didn't give a fuck who they've played, when they've played, how they've played, who's on the other sideline. And I mean, it's easy to give a knee-jerk reaction on Twitter and as we all do, and I love to do it. You see the first drive and you're like, okay, the game's over. This was an actual example of the game was over after the first 11 seconds of the game. It was just like, holy shit, this is a different playing field. And for Curt Cignetti, and I know it's the bigger picture question, but just focusing on this game, the fact that this is this man's second year at Indiana and this is where they are, it's incredible. And Indiana's it's just their year. They're just impeccable across the board.
T-Bob, what do you say?
Yeah, I think I want to start with Fernando Mendoza because, let's start with Mendoza. Here's a guy, he wins the Heisman, and he doesn't have crazy stats, right? It's not been like a crazy statistical Heisman year. But you want to talk about, after winning the award, shutting the door on any and all criticism about who was the best college football player in the country right now. I mean, you look at it through 2 playoff games against very good teams. Indiana, Alabama and Oregon. And when we have the Lanning conversation, I'll actually probably be more on Lanning's side. But against 2 very good teams, he has 8 touchdowns and 5 incompletions, guys. Almost double the amount of touchdowns than he does incompletions. He is dialed. He is 2019 Joe Burrow semifinal level of dialed in right now. And it comes on a team that in some ways is even more complete than that 2019 LSU team because this Indiana defense is also just as dialed. They've been statistically the best defense in the entire country all year long, either 1A, 1B, them Ohio State, whatever you want to say, and they just continue to do it. I mean, they start the game with the immediate pick six. And I will say this, Oregon responded very well to that pick six, right? And this just proves how good Indiana is. Because pick six happens, oh my God, that's a huge haymaker land. Oregon drives it down Indiana's throat. They put together this great 75-yard touchdown drive. Okay, maybe we spoke too soon. What does Indiana do? Like it's nothing. 75 yards the other way, no mistakes, perfect football. And now they're beating the shit out of Oregon. And again, like y'all are talking about, this is not the exception. This is the rule. This is who Indiana has been for 2 years now. And what's crazy is, like you're saying, Ev, maybe the best proof that we have that Ohio State was actually good is that they played this team close. Because right now, it doesn't seem like anybody can sniff their jock. And maybe that's the craziest point of all, is that the measuring stick for would Ohio State be good or not is that their margin of loss to Indiana wasn't that bad.
Blutman, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, the whole narrative about hard to beat a team twice, again, it doesn't matter when that psychopath is on Indiana's sidelines and prepping and preparing for this, because a 10-point win against Oregon is not a 10-point win against Oregon in Kurt Cignetti's mind. It's we didn't beat them by enough, and you saw that play out exactly to a T tonight. He wanted to flat out embarrass Dan Lanning's program. That's why Pons is out there playing offense. They wanted to laugh him off the field, and they did successfully. And yeah, it did start from the jump. I mean, there's nothing else to be said about Indiana that we haven't said already in the few weeks leading up to this. They're so fundamentally sound. Their blocking's elite. They make every contested catch they want.
Crazy.
They have three receivers that are unsung heroes in a way, because Mendoza is placing the ball perfectly on the money every time, but they make extraordinary catches, and it's like, man, they're so they're so good. That's the highest compliment to say, yeah, man, they might as well be cheating.
Yeah, that's a little silly, but
I mean, but like, that's what it is. They're that good. They know everything that's going to happen. It seems they're prepared for everything. They weather in every storm. They are sensational in every sense of the word. It is a complete joy to watch. It's a masterclass, a clinic every single rep.
So here's the thing: if you play Indiana, and I think we're seeing, because remember their last game at the end of the regular season was a 13-10 win over Ohio State, where it was back and forth, and they lucky to win is not the right word, but that game could have gone either way. Then they get a break, and their coaching staff and they get to get in there and really dig around in the car and tweak everything, and they come out with the extended break and they kill Alabama, and then they have 10 days between Alabama and this, and they come out and kill this team. I think it's an operation, a coaching staff, and a mature group of players operating at the highest possible caliber, because if you give them more than a week to prepare, they're going to be the best version of themselves. And if you make a mistake, you lose. If you make one mistake, you lose, because they don't make mistakes. They don't make any mistakes. If it's 3rd and 4, it's a 5-yard out. He throws a perfect ball, and Surratt catches it like this. If the ball's close to the receivers, they catch it. And the ball's always close to the receivers because the quarterback throws it the perfect spot every time. Hey, when's the last time you saw Indiana in 2nd and 21? When's the last time you saw Indiana in 3rd and 19? It doesn't happen, but they put you in 3rd and 19 all the time. It is I stand by my initial doubts last year, because it makes the ultimate realization I had even more impactful.
Yeah.
Like last year, I saw it with my eyes, but I was like, this can't be real. This is I'm going to throw some roadblocks up in here. And this year, they come in and steamroll everything, every doubt I put in the way. And now it's not, wow, they're so good. It is how historically good will they be. And like I said about the offseason conversation about Dan Lanning, as long as they beat Miami, which that's a conversation, we're going to have an offseason conversation about where this Indiana team stacks up all the time too. But that they got to get through They got to get through Miami first. I think Miami's going to put up more fight than Oregon because Big F said it. How many blowouts does Lanning have to take in these big spots before we say, guys, let's talk about this? But again, don't want to talk about that tonight. Kayce, read an ad.
We're going to talk about DraftKings really quick. I know that the Barstool game of the week, I believe, is the Patriots and the Chargers. The NFL playoffs are coming up, so make sure you do hashtag BarstoolGOTW. As always, new customers, if you bet just $5, you get $300 if your bonus wins. Or if that bet wins, you get the bonus bets instantly. I don't know did anybody, you had Indiana, T-Bob, right? Did you put a future on Indiana on DraftKings or no?
No, I should have.
I feel like everybody else at Barstool right now is just like, we're all out on our future. So it's sounded just to look forward to the Super Bowl, and we can do that on DraftKings. Again, promo code ROUGH, ROUGH, turn $5 and $300 in bonus bets instantly if your bet wins. Brandon, just really quick to your point, what you just made too, that I saw this a lot, and this always happens in retrospect after games like this, right? And it's y'all's favorite fan base, the Alabama fans, everybody coming out and saying the same thing. And every team does it. Don't get me wrong. Every team does it. But it's all well, you guys owe Alabama an apology now because everybody was making fun of how bad Alabama got beat in the Rose Bowl, and now they're doing it to Oregon. And Brandon, I'm going to ask you, like, do you feel that way? I don't think we owe Alabama shit, but I'm just saying there is a little bit of credence now because it's like, well, they are just beating the fuck out of everybody.
Well, I live my life by one credo, and that is never apologize to that piece of shit Alabama fan base for anything ever. So no matter what I ever say and what I ever do, I'm not apologizing to Alabama football. That being said, we as college football Twitter, as this podcast, as every podcast, we are very stupid. We are very dumb. Every game in the playoff, we say, well, this conference was better than that. This one, and maybe this team shouldn't have been in here. Maybe this conference should have had more. Maybe this conference shouldn't have had less. At the end of the day, don't react about a conference or any other team when Indiana plays. This is about Indiana. That's all it is. The Big Ten didn't win tonight. The Big Ten didn't lose tonight. Indiana just Indiana'd all over the place. And the fact that the worst program in the history of college football became the best in 18 months is the most amazing story in the history of this sport. So you're right. The Twitter fans are saying apologize to Alabama, apologize to this. Indiana's leaving a nothing but a vile wreckage of bodies behind them. Last week they were wearing crimson. This week they're wearing green. Doesn't matter. Big Ev, I don't know. If I were to ask you, Big Ev, tell me the most impressive part of Indiana. Is it Fernando Mendoza? Is it the running backs that get 4 yards every time they touch it? Is it the receivers that catch every single thing that's in the air? Is the offensive line that is just mauling people? What is it?
It's tough. I mean, it's a little bit of a dealer's choice there, I guess. I mean, the thing that stands out to me, I guess, is the way they seem to throw. I mean, that back shoulder to Surratt is just like a cheat code. Like, and Mendoza specifically, like any ball outside the hashes, like he doesn't miss. It feels like he's been so locked in. I mean, like Surratt, I tweeted to her, like, Surratt gives me like Anquan Bolden vibes. Like they just have like he just makes every tough catch. I think it's more just it's the sum of the parts where they just do everything right. Like even when Mendoza, even call this like a random play in the game, Mendoza breaks a little run and he fumbles, Pat Coogan is flying down the field to jump on that ball. And some can say like it's luck, whatever. No, he's following the fucking play. He's coming down like it just feels like even when they fuck up right. It's crazy. Yeah. Like they're just so prepared for every possible scenario, it feels like. And Cignetti, like you see him on the sideline, they put a 50 burger on him, like he's not even flinching.
He's not
like
even smiling.
I have to think he's going home and like he's got to just sit down, like put his feet up for a second after a game like this and just laugh a little bit. Be like, can you believe this shit? Because Brandon, what you said, the greatest turnaround in college football, it's the greatest turnaround in history of sports. I don't think there's anything you can equate this to. Maybe there's something overseas in soccer.
Leicester City winning the EPL would be like the only thing that I could
like,
think
even
of.
That
today, one
like,
year they randomly won.
Like Clemmer doesn't really watch college sports and never has. I was trying to even explain to him, and someone tried to say like, oh, like it'd be like the Rockies who are just like a gutter, like winning the World Series this year. I'm like, that doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
I'm like, the Rockies have been to World Series in the last 20 years. I'm like, Indiana's been the worst power program for 100 years. And in 2 years, we're talking about, is this an all-time college football team? There's nothing like it. And another thing too, the age thing I think is overblown as well. I saw Jack make a good tweet about it. Like,
Yeah, he did.
yes, maybe it is a strategy to have older guys, but it's not like Oregon's just a bunch of like pups out there.
No.
It's not like a bunch of 25-year-olds versus 18-year-olds. Yeah, they got a bunch of grown men, but all the other teams do too.
I think Jack
everybody's
said
old.
in Jack's tweet, I think it was like the same high school classes, like from a starter standpoint, Indiana has 8 and Oregon has 6. Something like that. Like it's that close with those guys.
Everyone's got old 23-year-olds too. Everyone's got them.
Ev, and you mentioned the sum of its parts, and I think that's the craziest part about this Indiana team is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and the parts are awesome to begin with. Yeah. I just don't know when the last time I've seen a team that has like and I overuse the word literally. But I really feel the form they are in right now, and have been, honestly, all season, there is literally no weakness. Like, okay, let's think about the other great teams. Even like a 2019 LSU, right? The defense was great, good. They had dogs, but they weren't like the most dominant force ever. They weren't ranking 1-2 in the country in all the major statistical categories. Like 0-1 Miami, offense, awesome, but still Ken Dorsey at quarterback, not like most over. Indiana. Where are they bad? In every single offensive and defensive statistic, they are, and all the important ones too. Red zone touchdown percentage scored, red zone touchdown percentage allowed, third down percentage allowed, third down percentage converted. Like you just go up and down the list, and Indiana is top 5 in every single metric. Hell, even we were making jokes last stream. I kept saying third and manageable. Come to find out, they average third and 5.1, which is number 1 in the country. They're always on schedule offensive. They're always putting you behind schedule defensively. 9 sacks in the 2 games against Dante Moore here. He was only sacked 14 times in the season, guys. It's just there's no weakness. There's no weakness. And the only reason why I do give, and Miami will play more mistake-free than they did. And it'll be closer than people are feeling in this moment right now because how strong Miami is in the trenches. But I do believe Indiana will ultimately win because Miami still has dents in the armor and little areas that can be exploited where it just feels like there's no. They feel like Superman right now. Indiana does.
Blevin, I want to talk about this with you. And we're 2 years into this thing. But the other day there was a graphic of like the 20 national college football people, and it was their national championship pick. I was on the graphic. Kayce was on the graphic. She had Clemson, I had Penn State. But a lot of people had Penn State, a lot of people had Ohio State, a lot of people had Georgia, a lot of people had whatever. The point of it was
we're all stupid.
Of all the 20, 19 of them all were gone, and only Taylor Lewan, who had Oregon, who is now gone, was still there. And for everybody that points that out, I would just like to give some flowers to this crazy, incredible, insane, ridiculous sport. We started this in August where people thought Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, Penn State, Clemson, and we are sitting here in January getting ready for Indiana and Miami.
Yeah.
And I think that is an amazing, amazing part of this sport, Blevin.
Yeah, I think, again, as I said yesterday, for all the flack that I give the current format and everything, at least I could put it aside, sit back, and see this Final Four and this national championship is super refreshing and super enticing. It's 2 very good football teams, but
this is why people are stupid. Let me just read a chat thing. Well, no, I got you. You're gonna talk. This guy says, so no one in media knows ball. That's the point. Not seeing Indiana and Miami coming at this is not about knowing ball or not knowing ball. It is about a sport that gives you this incredible story that nobody could have even written or conceived. Continue, Blevin. You fucking idiot.
So this is why I just beat myself up about this, because I sat next to you in the Mostly Sports studio last year in the spring. And I told you Indiana was going to be a team to watch. They were going to far surpass the win total. They were a dark horse contender to make the playoff. They make the playoff, They falter against Notre Dame, and for some reason, you call them a cute story, whatever. Now they're one of the best stories of sports history. But me and all these other people just decide we're pushing them away. Why did we do that? Why are we such brain dead idiots when they upgrade at quarterback? They upgrade everywhere. They were getting better, and we pushed them to the side. Why did we do that? They still had the elite head coach who game plans better than anyone in the pregame. Like, why did we push them away?
And the only two teams they lost to were the guys that played in the Natty, though.
Right. I'll tell you why I did it, and you all can answer why you did it. I did it because last year they had the weakest schedule in the country. They played two teams with winning records, basically, and got hammered by both of them. Last year's team was pretty good. This year's team is Hall of Fame incredibly good. I almost think this year's Indiana team would beat last year's by 60. And so, they gave us reasons to wonder in the offseason, you know what? Were they really that good, or was it the schedule? There is no wondering anymore. There is none of that. That's why we did it. We were wrong to do it, but that is why we did it.
Well, and also to go back to what you were saying about, all of us picking, whatever we may pick. I know that in college basketball and March Madness, you do those big bracket pools, right? And then whatever the Final Four ends up looking like, they're 9 of 500 million. Obviously that's an exaggeration, but there was the 9 total brackets. I would guarantee that if there is, outside of an Indiana fan or a Miami fan, there is not one human being that watches college football or follows college football that would guess it was an Indiana-Miami national title. And that's why the playoff doing what it's done is so great. But it's not just, you're right about Indiana and everybody kind of falling off, but it's the same conversations we have every year with these big conferences. Who actually played a real schedule? Who didn't play a real schedule? Are you a fraud or are you not? Indiana just took it and said, fuck you guys. We're just going to prove that we're not frauds. Last year, maybe, but that's the point. Is nobody saw this coming. Nobody outside of maybe Indiana fans.
Yeah. I think the point is don't be defensive about all of us being wrong, and we don't need to explain it. I think we need to celebrate us being wrong, because that's why this year has been so much fun. That's why football is such a great game. You get 22 young men out there on the field at any given time. There are millions of variables at play there. You never quite know what's going to happen, who's going to rise and fall over a season. And this has been such a wonderful season for showing that it's wide open and we don't know who the best teams are. And that's why every Saturday is so exciting, because something's going to surprise you. So, yeah, I absolutely love the fact that we were all so dead wrong preseason, because it's made for some really entertaining watching, and now it has to make us get in the lab and really try to figure out and parse, okay, what are the best practices nowadays? What are they doing other people aren't to get here? How do you emulate it? And how much has it? Because it's changed in such revolutionary ways that I don't even think that we can really grapple with the ripple effects of what are going to be the best strategies for winning consistently in this era of college football.
All right, Kayce, read an ad, and then I've got a question for everybody.
All right, game time. The national championship is on the 19th, I believe. It's in Miami, so obviously I'm sure those tickets are pretty expensive right now. So if you want to jump in and get that, obviously the NFL playoffs, all of those things, they're all available on Game Time. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's a hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. The fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. And now you can save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats, which is very cool, especially if you're not really dead set on where you want to sit for a concert, for a game. They can do that. So snag new ticket deals before anyone else finds out by following your favorite teams or artists in the Game Time app to receive alerts. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ROUGH, ROUGH, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. Again, create an account, redeem ROUGH, $20 off. Download the Game Time app today.
All right, so here's my question. We are talking tonight and celebrating a team that just won 56-22 final score. 56-22 is the final, but it could have, if you said 86-0, you would have been probably closer to what it felt like. We're talking about Indiana. We're pumping them up. Cignetti, Mendoza, all of them. They do have to beat Miami. They have not won the national title yet. They have to go to Miami and play Miami. They have to play this defensive line that is nasty. They have to play this offensive line that is nasty. What I believe, and I don't know, somebody said in the chat, I don't know if that is correct. I'm just going to say what I saw in the chat. Indiana minus 7.5 is what I saw. I don't know if that's right.
It was
Correct.
5.5.
It actually,
Wow.
I would say it went up 2 points in the duration of this football game.
Correct.
Yeah. So Indiana minus 7.5. So we are talking like it is a foregone conclusion. Big Ev, is it a foregone conclusion?
I think it is that they'll win. Especially, I mean, we need to find out what's going on with Miami and that defense, the injuries, because especially if a Mesidor is going to be out and like some of the other guys in the secondary, I think they already were fighting an uphill battle to begin with. I mean, those losses would be detrimental. I think Indiana's going to win it all. 7.5. I mean, a lot of points. Maybe Miami can make it a rock fight. Maybe they can play some good defense, but I don't see it. Indiana's going to win the football game. They're going to win the game.
Hey, Kayce, is it a foregone conclusion?
I feel in my heart that it is. It's the easy thing to say, but I mean, less than 24 hours ago when we were doing this very show about, Ole Miss Miami, and the one thing that we said is that, Ole Miss was hanging around in that game. Miami was making mistakes, but it was because the game was close because Ole Miss was allowing that to happen. Indiana, they make zero mistakes. Miami goes out and makes any of the mistakes that they made, then no, there is no shot they can win. Miami has to play a perfect football game for them to be able to hang with Indiana because Indiana plays perfect football.
T-Bob, foregone conclusion, question mark?
Yeah, this is tough for me because I think I'm going to be accused of being a flip-flopper here, right? Because my big takeaway from last night was that I thought that Miami looked on par with both Oregon and Indiana, probably like equal with Oregon, maybe like a little less than Indiana. And I still think, again, health is huge. We got no Miami injuries, like Ev said, but because they're so good on the lines, there's a world where Miami's offense maybe slows down the game a bit, kind of limits Indiana's offense's chances. But all that Miami momentum that I built up on last night's show and that I was like celebrating them for, I just feel like he got blasted away by the nuclear bomb that was Indiana's performance tonight, and combined with Indiana's performance this entire year, last week. I really wanted to come in here and I said going into the game that I had it scored 55% Indiana, like 45 Miami. I'm like 70-30 now. Like I really just feel like it's kind of foregone. Lukey sent a really good tweet in the group chat though. Did you see this?
No.
It's from College Football Nerds. It says, at CFB Nerds, it's clear the only way to beat Indiana is to have an elite run defense. If you look at the season, all the close games, Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, Indiana was held under 3.5 yards a carry. Every time they ran for over 4 yards a carry, they won by 25 plus. It's kind of an interesting little common denominator point of emphasis going into this Miami matchup.
All right, and I'm fine with that. I am curious going into tonight. What was Oregon's run defense ranked?
22nd.
I think they're very good.
22nd.
Yeah, in the country, that's very good.
All right, Blutman. Conclusion: is it foregone?
Honestly, dude, yeah, I think so. I mean, well, okay, no, it's not, because as we've seen time and time again, anything could happen in this sport, and Miami fans will love that I'm back to doubting them in this. Like, yeah, I think Indiana's going to win by 3+ touchdowns. I just think they're going to do what they've continued to do. I see no reason to think otherwise. They're just so laser focused, man. They're just so clean, technical, precise, perfect. You gotta be tripping if you're. How do you not take Indiana in this spot? I'm being dead honest. Like, everything that we've seen just leads you to believe. Fernando Mendoza's missed like 5 passes in the college football playoff. They don't do anything wrong. I will back them with my life in this spot. They're going to win the national championship. I like them by 21 plus. Sure, why not? And this just makes me wish so badly that when we were growing up playing NCAA video games and we are taking this random team to the top, which this is a dynasty come to real life, man, I wish we had like studio shows and podcasts and newspapers and everything to read and listen to and look at. All like us talking about Indiana 60 minutes away from winning a national championship right now, potentially in dominant fashion. I could just like see myself playing as Indiana as a 12-year-old and listening to all these people talk about that. Like, this is crazy. This is bananas.
Brandon, is it a foregone conclusion?
No, it's not. And I say that out of respect to the sport of college football, and I say that out of respect to the fact that no, I just can't say it's a foregone conclusion. I do think Indiana's about to win the national championship. I do think Indiana is the best team. Miami went on the road to Texas A&M, won that game. Miami then beat an Ohio State team that was a missed 21-yard field goal from being in overtime with Indiana, okay? Ohio State and Indiana, I believe, probably lockstep with each other, probably very close to each other. Miami beat Ohio State. Iowa and Penn State kept Indiana close. Now, that's a different Indiana team. That was 3 months ago, 2 months ago, whatever. This one's – but I think Indiana's going to win. I'm going to bet Indiana minus 7.5, but I think Miami has a chance with it. When you have the talent profile they have at the line of scrimmage, you have a chance in every single game that you play. So I'm not going to say they're not going to get done what Oregon and Alabama got done to them. I do feel confident in that. I do think Indiana's about to win the national title.
All right, before we go on, I have to talk about a new sponsor. Brandon, look at this. I have a blurry effect because of my background, but it's called the IQ Bar. Listen, it's the new year. Everybody's trying to get healthy. Everybody's trying to do right. And a lot of times when you're eating these protein bars or even coffee, it's not good for you, okay? And this episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our snack and coffee sponsor. They have protein bars, the IQ Joe mushroom coffees. They're delicious, all low sugar, brain and body fuel that you need to win your day. We all know that I love a good snack. Okay, Brandon, they have a banana nut bread one in here. That's great. They also have instant coffee packs. So if you just have hot or cold water, you can throw it in your purse, in your car, in your bag, whatever. And it just makes a delicious coffee that actually fuels your brain. And the ultimate sampler pack is a great way to try all the IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 of the IQ bars and 4 IQ Joe sticks. The new year gives us all a chance to reset. And the ultimate sampler pack includes the best ways to do that. So right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the ultimate sampler pack plus free shipping. Get your 20% off. Text roughness to 64000. Just 64000. Text roughness 64,000. I'm going to say that again. 64,000. That's code rough. Message and data rates apply. See terms for details. They are absolutely phenomenal. They've got cafe mocha, almond butter chip, peanut butter chip. They've got them all, and the coffees are amazing.
You know, I also saw a stat today about Carson Beck because, Kayce, me and you are guilty. Everybody's guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of watching Carson Beck and going, God damn it, Carson Beck, what's wrong with you? You idiot. You're a moron. You're terrible. You got doofus face, whatever. I think he's 38-5 now as a starter.
Yeah.
And I saw he is against ranked Power 4 teams. He is 16-3. He is 16-3 all time. Like he's got like an all-time win-loss record. Between two schools. He is so much better than our eyes tell us that he is. But at the same time, Fernando Mendoza is fucking perfect. So what the fuck do I know?
On and off the field. It is funny about Beck too. I mean, he's getting ready for his 3rd national championship. Now, granted, he didn't play in the first 2, right? But like he's been through the rhythm of these things. He's seen the type of teams and what it takes to win. Like he's had a very storied career considering where my head was at with him entering this season and how dead in the water I was counting him to be.
All right, so Kayce, we're done with that.
Nope.
We have one more. We have T-Bobs.
Okay, well, it's a Friday night. I assume everybody in the chat and everybody out in the world is out there with your best gal or your best guy, and you're either snuggled up or you're out on the town. So we're not going to take all your time tonight. We're going to get on out of here pretty soon. But go ahead, T-Bob. What do we got?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned best guy and best gal. Well, why don't you treat your best partner, fellas, because you already know what time it is, okay? It's time to level up. And BlueChew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt gold-plated energy. BlueChew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. And guess what, guys? This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. Check this out, okay? We're talking not one, but 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping. Then they're mixed with amphimorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and the connection. My eyes are so bad, dude. In your brain and body. BlueChew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation.
Try that.
Oh, whoa, no, that doesn't work. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. If your bed could talk after this BlueChew Gold, your bed would be asking for a break. So make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And right now I've got a special deal for our listeners. You get 10% off your first month of BlueChew Gold with code ROUGHNESS. That's promo code ROUGHNESS. 10% off your first month of BlueChew Gold. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BlueChew for sponsoring this podcast.
Brandon,
All right,
may I say something unless you're ending the podcast right now or you have a point? May I say
Go
something?
ahead.
So I know that we went live in the middle of the game or, there was some time left, but I've had the post game and everything on mute the entire time and watching it. And I know that this is not a new take. We've all been saying it, but the amount of camera time that Fernando Mendoza has had at the end of this game and in like the day and age where these guys don't really want to stand and talk to people and they're rushing off, like I can't even hear anything. And I'm smiling ear to ear. He's praying, he's smiling, he's talking to his teammates. He's like cheering on the crowd. People are taking pictures with his parents. This kid's unbelievable. He's just the absolute fucking best.
I have one question for you guys.
Yeah.
It's a Miami home game. What do you think exactly? What do you think the split is?
I'm going to say 50-50.
Indiana?
Yeah.
I think there were 5% Oregon fans there.
When these downtrodden, beaten programs have their moment in the sun, everybody goes. Everybody goes. Bloomington, if you want to rob Bloomington, do it next Monday night. Here's what I'm going to do. We're ending the show quickly. It's a short show because it was a short game. But everybody's going to get their last words here. So we're going to go last words, whatever you want to say, whatever your take is from today. And let's make them pretty snappy tonight because we don't have to dilly-dally around here. So, Big Ev, you go first. Your last word for today.
No, it's honestly, you put the thought in my head, but I'm sitting here trying to tell myself how Miami can make this a game, and I'm just struggling to see it. I started to convince myself that maybe Oregon can make this a game, and I think that was just the contrarian in me. There was nothing of merit on the field that said that to me. And honestly, there's really nothing on the field that says that Miami can keep. I mean, Indiana's going to win by double digits. I don't see how they don't.
Kayce, your last word.
Fernando Mendoza, the 4th player in college football history with a 5+ touchdown in a game. He had 3 of them this season. It's just absolutely unbelievable what he's doing. And shame on all of us going back before the Heisman to say, well, this is a really weak Heisman class, guys. We're just going to have to give it to Fernando Mendoza. Like, this kid deserves every ounce of the praise that he's getting, and he's unbelievable.
T-Bob.
I love these semifinals, man. I liked all the new players. Teams, like the teams involved. I love the fact that we got an instant classic on one hand, but then on the other hand, like, dominance can be very interesting as well, especially when it is so thorough and attached to the narrative rise from the ashes underdog story like Indiana's is. I love this final. I love college football. I'm sad that we only have one game left, but yeah, real successful Final Four here in my opinion.
Lutman.
Oregon had 2 100-yard receiving games all season, both of them by Malik Benson. That's an area that they'll probably want to address for next season. This is the first this is technically the first national championship game since 1988's Fiesta Bowl between Notre Dame and West Virginia, which I know is 1 versus 3, whatever, that won't feature a Nike school. That's nuts to think about. And then this is the first national champion since 2010 Auburn that is not a Nike school.
Am.
No swoosh.
All right, Brandon,
Swoosh.
walk us off.
In a world where college football is so topsy-turvy and things are so rapid to change, I would like to applaud great leadership when I see it. I would like to applaud great decision-making. I would like to applaud an NCAA body that puts its foot down. So, listen, everybody can get caught up in everything, but today, when the NCAA watched 29-year-old Indiana and all these old guys winning, the NCAA put its foot down and said, Trinidad Chambliss, great career. We're going to see you. Go ahead and go to the NFL. Go wherever you got to go. We don't know where you're going next, but you ain't fucking playing here. The guy played 6 years. He broke through in his last year. But, hey, somebody else got to get a chance. It's a tough decision, but it took balls and it took guts and it took everything. And I applaud the NCAA in putting their foot down and making sure that this system isn't abused by those people who would abuse the system just so they win football games. That's what I say.
Credit to you, Brandon. Credit to
NCAA
you.
right.
known for their great leadership.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. That's Unnecessary Roughness.
Look
Later,
cute,
guys.
everybody.